Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is POV, and today I'm going to be talking about, as you can tell by the title, the Seven Deadly Sins, aka Nanatsu no Taizai. And yeah, I just want to say off the bat that this was quite an enjoyable series. I really did enjoy it, and I'm definitely going to continue reading the manga after seeing that last episode. Now, as I like to do with my Let's Talks, I will first go into a non-spoilery little overview of the show, review. I will say more, not really overview, and then I will go into the spoiler talk, which I will make very clear that I'm going to go into it. That way, you guys have the chance to fuck off if you guys want to. So, the non-spoiler review of it, the show. The show revolves around two protagonists, Elizabeth and Meliodas, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Meliodas. And it comes down to the fact that the Seven Deadly Sins is a group of characters that with extraordinary magical powers that were framed to have killed the king and therefore have committed treason. And Elizabeth is convinced that's not the real case. That the people the knights that are serving the country currently at that point, the so to say holy knights, they are the real evil, and that's why she went up and searched for the seven deadly sins to ask for their help. Meliodas, we found out early in the show that he is one of the seven deadly sins, and they go into throughout the season they go into a quest to find the other ones and at the same time battle the evil holy knights. That's kind of the non-spoilery version of the summary. The show overall is pretty fun. Again, something that I absolutely loved in any type of media, whether it's film or well animation, movies, or series. I like if you have a good character chemistry, then I'm definitely gonna get hooked on with your show. And it rarely happens. I will be honest. It rarely happens that I like all the group members of a certain series. It rarely happens. For example, Dragon Ball Z, there I could name a few characters in the main group that I was not too fond of. One Piece, the same thing. I can say Naruto, I can say the same thing. But no, with the seven deadly sins, like Elizabeth, the what was his name, the pig, hog, all the seven deadly sins that were currently introduced. Like I absolutely loved all of them. I really, really do. Um, However, I do have to point out that for those of you who do not like fan service all too much, it happens once in a while. It's more of like a comedic aspect. It's not meant to like, oh, look at these titties. It's more meant to like, let's put in a tit joke right now, or an ass joke. Haha, it's funny. And sometimes it were. Sometimes they worked. Sometimes they weren't. Sometimes they felt a little bit forced. But overall, the animation was pretty well done. The pacing was pretty well done. It has, I will tell you this, if you are a person who's very critical about plot holes, there are certain moments that will seem like, wait, this is cannot be correct if this and this happened, or it makes it seem as some character actions don't seem logical at all. But I would advise you to give it an episode or two. Maybe just wait. Maybe finish the series if that's the only thing bothering you. But you can still continue watching it. Then just continue watching the series, because I was surprised to find out that certain questions that I had during certain points were actually explained like at the end of the season. I had some questions left, but at the same time, understanding that this was an ongoing series, there were other questions that got answered throughout the season. So don't worry about that. I will tell you that much. For those of you who have seen the series and who maybe read the manga, I'll go into that in my spoiler talk. And otherwise, yeah, it has certain elements of the various series that I could have seen. Like for example, there is like a little bit of a tournament episode which really reminded me of old school Dragon Ball. There is, excuse me, there is a very like bleach moment. I won't say which one it is for to avoid spoilers. There is the One Piece element of like, hey, let's go collect my friends, my nakama. Um, so I would say that, and there are those it's and bits that kind of like remind me of all other series that I've watched, and you can't blame me for that. I've watched these series and I love them so much. Of course, if I see another series and I see that they have certain resemblances, I will say that. I'm not saying that one copied the other. I'm just going to say that they remind me of them. But yeah, animation was otherwise just beautiful. Though. I guess that was the one thing that was kind of making me question what I was watching during certain points, because the animation is so bright, the series is so bright, and sometimes rather happy, but then there are just rather dark moments that appear during daylight that make it look like, let's say, imagine just Mickey Mouse in its regular cartoon form, just all of a sudden like breaking someone's neck or something like that. It the strength of the things that go wrong doesn't match up with, sometimes for me at least, with the animation and the art style in general, but they are understandable, and it also helps explain certain actions that occur during certain moments in the series, when certain characters have to make certain decisions and do certain things. um, the gore and how strong those moments are and how strong their actions are, they are very reasonable. So yeah, not much else that I can say for the non-spoiler version. To be honest, I just absolutely love this show. If you love action adventure animes, definitely give this anime a watch. If you are not bothered by fan service at all and don't mind it being like just put in between there once in a while for jokes, which I will say it was mostly in the beginning of the series, not even like towards the end. As things really progress, it starts to get more into the plot and less about those jokey elements. But overall, just give it a try. It's like action. If you love action, if you like adventure anime, definitely give this a shot. Now, I'll give you a couple of seconds for you to leave because I will go into the spoiler talk right now. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button down below. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Maybe I'll get into the manga, and maybe I will do reviews of that in the future as well. And definitely, if you haven't watched anime and you decide to watch it after watching this video, just please subscribe and please comment down below after you watched it, whether you enjoyed it or not. Regardless, spoiler talk. Give you 3 seconds to leave. 1, 2, 3. We're good. Okay. If you are a friend of mine, and by that I mean someone that has known me personally and known me and my gaming habits, you will know that when it comes to fighting games, brawl games, my favorite characters are usually the ones who are mostly fist-based, who the boxers, the ones who enjoy fisticuffs, and like the people who know me playing Smash. Like my main character in Smash Bros is Lil Mac because he's a boxer, and just seeing Meliodas, his specialty attack is a frigging counter. I lost my shit. Like, oh my god. Oh wow, like that was unexpected because maybe I haven't watched enough manga or haven't watched the right ones, but I have never seen a character whose main attack is the frigging counter, and that's Lil Mac. Like he has like when you hit him that he can dodge and he'll punch you back. Or and there is also a move in Smash Bros from Lil Mac where he just takes the damage and just punches you regardless, which in a way is kind of like the revenge counter that he does towards the end of the series. Oh my god, man, the revenge counter is the best. I'm freaking out, and just that your main character has to like this move put me put me already in my place of like, yeah, I like this a lot. Oh man, Revenge Counter. I'm sorry that I'm just fanboying so much right now, but Revenge Counter, like, cut your magic off, take all the damage, reactivate it, and all the damage that's been done to you, release it on one person. Oh my god. Now, enough of that. Aside from the Revenge Counter, like I did enjoy, as I was talking about it earlier. I did enjoy a lot of the characters like King, Diane, Ban. I originally wasn't expecting to like Ban as much as I ended up doing. My personal favorite of the Seven Sins so far has to be King, however, just because of his magic abilities, just off the chain. Like Gauter is, I hope I'm saying it correctly. Gauter, he has like some serious cool abilities too, and just I think I also read, without trying to spoil myself, I did look it up a little bit to find out, does it get explained if Gauter is a villain or not, and apparently it's not explained yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, no, don't correct me if I'm wrong. Let me read the manga first. Um, so him having this really suspicious feeling to him, that makes it interesting for me at least to want to go read the manga even more, even though, if let's say if they say let's say it didn't get the chance to have a second season, then it would have been like, oh well, shit, I guess we won't find out anytime soon. But the fact that it will get a second season, that the manga is still ongoing, it's great, at least because it's great for the original content, at least because then it makes people like me want to go search it and read it. So that's the thing. Also, I'm subscribed to Chibi Reviews, and he put, I think, the picture of Merlin, and with the title "What the fuck, Merlin is overpowered" or something like that. So when I read the name Merlin, Merlin is a typical mage wizard name. So I was thinking, the moment King Arthur showed up and you had this cloaked mage, I was thinking to myself, okay, Merlin is in this show. Like that's that Merlin that he was talking about. So she must be overpowered as fuck, which is which, if you're with King Arthur, who seems like a young guy who knows a lot of shit and who's really strong, and you put Arthur and Merlin together, it's only obvious that Merlin has to be a really crazy strong ass character, because Merlin is a recognizable legendary name, a mythical name. So yes, absolutely loved her as well. Diane, her and her habits with Meliodas, I absolutely that was always funny. Hawk, surprisingly, plays, in my opinion, the Puck character from Berserk. He has a really comedic aspect as well, and there's still, like I said, like a lot of questions that remain unsolved, and it's very interesting for me. I will say one big complaint that I do have with the series is just how Elizabeth was kind of like a plot device, like just healing everyone. I personally don't like when characters' death seem irrelevant, and Hawk's death was powerful. And when she's crying over his dead body, and she's like, oh, like I wish, like why did you have to die? And her healing ability, like she can tell that her healing ability doesn't heal everyone. Excuse me. Like there were other knights who were affected by the main villain's attack, that whose main villain I completely forgot, but they were affected by his attack and they weren't revived, so obviously Hawk wouldn't either. But then you have Hawk coming back to life in this very small form, which leaves the question as to what is his ability, what is Hawk exactly, aside from being a pig. And yeah, Elizabeth's power kind of became like a plot device, from in my opinion. I wasn't too crazy about it, and Hawk's death being like kind of just brushed aside, and like, no, he's alive all along. Kind of did bother me. I'm not saying that I dislike Hawk to the point that I wish he would have died, but don't. It's something that bothers me with every anime that does it. It's just don't let a character die, give the person a power up, and then have him brought back to life. Don't Krillin that character. So regardless, okay, I mentioned earlier that there was a point that reminded me of Bleach. Bleach, that's that final Getsuga Tensho moment. If you're unfamiliar with Bleach, that's that moment, a moment when Ichigo, the main protagonist, releases his final attack, his most powerful attack, on the main villain, who's by this time a monster. In this case, the main villain turns himself into a partial demon, the Gray Demon or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, that's the moment that I was thinking like, wow, anime does share similarities with some other stuff that I've seen in the past, but still it manages to stay interesting. And the fact that it creates so many questions at the same time, it solves a lot of them throughout the series, and yet leaves a couple of them open just to keep our curiosity. Not a bad thing. King's backstory with his best friend was, for example, one of those plot holes in my opinion. Like, if his best friend wanted to kill the humans so badly, why was he working as the Holy Knight? And then we find out that he was resurrected under a Holy Knight and then used against King. That was like, wow, okay, you. I had a question in my head and you answered it and you gave me like a really fucked up but really good reason. So yeah, this show great. Now, one question that I do want to ask you guys is, for those of you who have read the manga, does this show, this first season at least, did it was it properly paced? Was it too rushed compared to the manga? Did it leave out certain important manga elements out? Because I'm not sure whether I should start reading from scratch or if I should continue reading from where this show ends. So that's my question to you guys. If you want to, please answer, because I'll wait maybe a week or two and see if I get any reactions out of this. If I don't, then I'll just start reading from where I left, from where the anime leaves off. Right now, I can't get a hold of the second series, so unfortunately, I'm not going to do that. But tell me what you guys thought about about this season. Was it faithful to the manga? Did you enjoy it? Are you currently watching the second season? Please, no spoilers. One thing that I do have to say, please, no spoilers, at least until I finish reading the manga. And please put, if you want to do that, if you want to be that person, then just put spoiler tags, please. My name is still POV. This was my Let's Talk of Nanatsu no Taizai, aka the Seven Deadly Sins. And I could tell that my spoiler talk has gone out a little bit too long. Regardless, have a good week. I definitely enjoyed this series, and goodbye.